Hey everyone, I'm Mr. Willis, and you will love economics. Monopolistic competition is an imperfect market structure where many, various sized firms compete for market demand. As the name implies, firms that compete in this market structure exhibit characteristics of both monopolies and perfect competitors. Examples of monopolistic competition in the real world include the fast food industry, the clothing industry, and the markets for jewelry and furniture. In each of these industries, many firms, both large and small, produce similar goods and compete with each other for economic profits. Provided are the characteristics of monopolistic competition. Like perfectly competitive markets, monopolistically competitive industries are comprised of many firms. However, these firms vary in size. Some firms are smaller, like perfect competitors, while others are larger and more dominant, like monopolies. Despite any differences in size and market power, no one firm holds a monopoly share of market demand because so many firms compete in the industry. This makes it possible for smaller firms to survive in the market and compete with larger, more dominant sellers. In addition, monopolistically competitive firms sell products that are slightly differentiated, meaning the economic goods produced by one firm are close substitutes for the economic goods produced by all other firms in the market. As a result, like monopolies, monopolistic competitors will utilize commercials, marketing strategies, and other forms of non-price competition to try to boost consumer demand for their products. With so many substitute goods in the market, firms will use non-price competition to distinguish their product from competing products on the basis of unique attributes. The goal of non-price competition is to change consumer tastes and preferences and convince buyers to choose the firm's products over their competitors. This should boost a firm's share of market demand, leading to greater total revenue and more economic profits for the firm. Like monopolies and all other imperfectly competitive firms, monopolistic competitors are price makers. With a vast number of sellers in a monopolistically competitive industry, each individual firm sells a distinct product that is completely unique from its competitors. This gives each firm the power to set a market price for its goods, but within a certain range or limit. Because there is very little product differentiation in the industry, firms experience a more elastic demand for their goods, leading them to charge similar but not identical prices. Any small change in product price will result in a significant change in the quantity of goods demanded because of the presence of many close substitute products in the market. In other words, if one firm decides to raise its price by 50 cents, it could lose a significant number of consumers and take a big hit in total revenue, as buyers simply turn to one of the many competitors who sell a similar product at a lower price. Hence, you can see why the use of non-price competition is so important in monopolistically competitive industries. If a firm can persuade consumers that their product is better than their competitors' products, they can raise their prices and boost their revenue without losing buyers. Monopolistic competitors are also completely inefficient. Like monopolies, monopolistic competitors set their output at their profit maximization point and charge consumers the highest price they are willing and able to pay, set entirely by market demand. This means a monopolistically competitive firm overcharges at its price and underproduces its output, leading them to be allocatively inefficient. Monopolistic competitors are also productively inefficient because they experience excess capacity in the long run. Excess capacity refers to the difference between a firm's profit maximizing level of output and the output level at which the firm could have minimized average total cost. With so many different firms producing distinct individual products, monopolistic competitors are subject to the law of demand and must therefore reduce their price in order to sell greater quantities of output. This means, like monopolies, marginal revenue is less than demand for monopolistically competitive firms. In order to maximize profits, monopolistic competitors will only produce output if marginal revenue is greater than or equal to marginal cost. By following the optimal output rule, smaller firms will find it difficult to expand their plant capacities and scale their production in order to reduce average total cost to its lowest possible level. Instead, due to a smaller plant capacity, monopolistically competitive firms will produce their output along the downward sloping range of the long-run average total cost curve and will experience economies of scale, leading to a higher total cost per unit than they could have experienced at the minimum cost output. The failure to produce enough output to minimize average total cost indicates that the firm is experiencing excess capacity, proving that the monopolistically competitive firm is productively inefficient in the long run. And finally, like perfect competitors, monopolistically competitive firms always break even in the long run. Monopolistically competitive industries have low barriers to entry. With so many firms producing similar products, competition in the market is fierce. No one firm holds a significant share of market demand over all the others. As a result, it's relatively easy to start a new company, join the industry, and begin competing with existing firms. It also means that firms that experience high production costs or who struggle to maximize profits can easily shut down and leave the industry. Let's take a look at how short-run profits and losses disappear and how monopolistic competitors break even in the long run.
Suppose that this graph represents a typical firm in the monopolistically competitive market for good X. Like the firm seen here, suppose that every firm in this monopolistically competitive industry is earning economic profits in the short run. Entrepreneurs on the outside looking in are going to see their chance and try to get a piece of the action. With low barriers to entry, they'll gather the inputs necessary to start a new firm and join the industry in the hopes of selling their products and earning a market share of the profits. As these new firms enter the industry and introduce their products to consumers, existing firms will see their market share of demand decrease as consumers turn to close substitutes produced by newer firms. As demand decreases for each firm, the price that firms can charge for their goods is driven down, and firms will reduce their output at a new profit maximization point to adjust to decreased demand and lower marginal revenue per unit, causing total revenue to decrease for all firms that produce and sell good X. As a result, firms in this monopolistically competitive industry will see their short-run economic profits disappear and turn into normal profit, causing firms to break even in the long run. In the long run, economic losses don't last forever either. Assume that every firm in this monopolistically competitive industry is taking economic losses in the short run. As losses persist and costs can't be paid, entrepreneurs who can't cut it will look for a way out. With low barriers to entry, some firms that are taking losses will close down their plants, stop production, and leave the industry. In essence, they admit defeat and give up. As these firms exit the industry and take their products with them, each firm that stays in the industry will see their market share of demand increase now that there are fewer close substitutes to turn to. As demand increases for each firm, the price that firms can charge for their goods is driven up, and firms will boost their output at a new profit maximization point to take advantage of increased demand and higher marginal revenue per unit, causing total revenue to increase for all firms that produce and sell good X. As a result, every firm in this monopolistically competitive industry will see their short-run economic losses disappear and turn into normal profit, causing firms to break even in the long run.
If you're looking for a real-life example of a monopolistically competitive industry, look no further than the American fast food industry. Firms like McDonald's and Yum brand restaurants are larger in size and earn greater economic profits, but smaller regional firms still compete in the market with similar products that possess unique attributes. Think about your local mom and pop fast food joints. For me, it's Chris's Burgers, Miguel's, and Frantone's. They all compete with the McDonald's, Taco Bell's, and Pizza Hut's in the industry. While the larger, more dominant firms may earn more economic profits than the majority of restaurants in the market, the smaller firms can still compete because they can sell their unique fast food items to consumers who have acquired a taste for them. Sure, people enjoy eating McDonald's fries and chicken McNuggets from time to time, but sometimes they crave those onion rings and bacon cheeseburgers from the local mom and pop diner every once in a while too. This ensures that smaller firms with good products earn a share of economic profits in the long run. No matter how big the Pizza Huts of the world get, they still can't squash every single mom and pop pizza joint because they serve up some tasty pies and Italian dishes that have become your family favorites over time. That's how your favorite spots continue to compete in a monopolistically competitive market. And that's monopolistic competition. Be sure to subscribe to the channel by hitting the red button below so you can receive alerts about new videos when they become available. If you enjoy the channel or find my videos useful, let me know by liking the video and feel free to leave a comment below. We have full video lectures on every topic in macro and microeconomics, as well as quick macro and micro minute videos for cram sessions and quick reviews. If you'd like to learn more, you can click here for my video on oligopolies, or you can click here for my micro minute video on excess capacity. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time on You Will Love Economics.